Transition triggers are a big one with our individuals and children. So, leaving the playground or the park, stop screen time or video games, morning routines, bedtime routines, changing activities during therapy or school, moving from one parent's house to another. This happens all the time of changing one activity to another, especially for our kids in the clinic. They also do occupational and speech therapy while they're at the clinic. So they get to go from fun times with their RBT to having to go to speech or OT, and that could be difficult. I know the kiddos in school that are in school may not like to go to speech, and they would rather be in the classroom. So that is what you could possibly see is some refusals, some meltdowns, some crying, some resistance, the trying to get out of it by like running away or negotiating. Some demand triggers, so that could be homework or schoolwork, any household chores, hygiene routines, trying to get new or trying new and non-preferred foods, getting dressed independently, and following multi-step instructions. I really want to point out this required effort and energy. Think about the effort versus the reward. If the effort is so high, but the reward or the reinforcement is not enough, you may have some difficult time of getting that demand or task completed. So they could say, no, I can't. Lots of task avoidance, procrastinating, or doing it slowly, whining or arguing. So, for example, if you were offered to mow the Ravens lawn for $1, that effort versus reward does not match. But if you were offered $100 an hour to mow the Ravens field, you're more likely to do that. And it's a little bit more motivational to do it. Some social triggers. So that could be birthday parties or large gatherings, play groups or play dates, siblings, conflicts and rivalries, sharing toys and taking turns, group activities at school or therapy, and then crowded places like restaurants. So you may see withdrawing or refusing to participate, aggression, some property destruction, crying or clinging to caregivers, leaving the group or hiding. I personally have lots of social triggers. So I am very much one to be leaving the group and hiding. Usually I'm like in a corner with my friends in for those birthday parties or large gatherings. So again, a lot of the triggers are not just for our individuals and children. It also could be for us. Some sensory triggers that we could possibly see, like covering your ears or removing clothing, meltdowns. Some possible scenarios are louder, unexpected noises, scratchy clothing, tags, or certain fabric textures, brighter fluorescent lights, strong smells, certain food textures or temperatures, being touched unexpectedly or having a light touch, and busy or visually cluttered environments. Another one that's very common for, I think, a lot of people between parents and coworkers and kids and other individuals are just communication triggers. So they can't find the words to express their needs or their wants. They are not given enough wait time to formulate a response, trying to communicate complex emotions or abstract concepts. Needing or preferences aren't anticipated by caregivers, being interrupted or talked over, transitioning from nonverbal to verbal communication. You may see some tantrums or meltdowns, physical communication like pushing, leading by their hands, crying or screaming, shutting down, going silent, or increased repetitive behaviors, along much, much more. And physiological triggers that could be hunger or thirst, fatigue or poor sleep, illness or not feeling well, pain, medication changes or side effects, allergies or seasonal changes, I don't like to say that physiological triggers can cause behavior. I do like to say that it could exacerbate or make the behaviors worse, like intensity or you're crying longer. And so it's always good to know when your child or your individual is just they didn't sleep well, or they have a stomach ache, or they have a headache, or they're teething. So it's good to know those, and even if and we can also start to get a pattern with that. And then there also are behaviors that occur without a clear trigger, and that's why that ABC data is important in those videos if you cannot see them.